One of the first things any visitor to a Church of Scientology will notice is the many photographs of L. Ron Hubbard throughout the building. Almost every room is decorated with some portrait of him, something Hubbard insisted be done in his own policies. He's been dead for over 20 years, yet every church also keeps an office for him, complete with desk and books, and stocked up with supplies, so that if Hubbard were to miraculously walk in, he could get right to work. I don't know of any other organization or church that does this. L. Ron Hubbard referred to himself as Source, and made it clear that he alone was the single source of all of Scientology's teachings. Any issues or writings on Scientology which were not written by him have since either been destroyed or they were changed to put his name on the signatory even though someone else actually wrote it. This actually happened with far more issues than most Scientologists think, but unless you have a long memory or access to those earlier works, you wouldn't know this now. The most important policy in all of Scientology is titled Keeping Scientology Working. In it, Hubbard states in no uncertain terms how Scientology is the most important discovery in all of history, and that quite literally every single person's life depends on becoming a Scientologist. He also asserts that any disagreements anyone may feel about Scientology come strictly out of their mental aberrations. Scientologists are forced to accept all of this as truth. While studying Scientology or receiving its counseling methods, if Hubbard is questioned in any way, the standard response is to ask, "What do your materials state?" and continue to go over and over what Hubbard said until the person agrees with whatever Hubbard was talking about is true, whether they really agree with it or not. Some Scientologists get very good at convincing themselves that they truly understand materials which actually don't make any sense at all, just because Hubbard wrote it. Hubbard's mantle of infallibility has now passed to David Miscavige, the current leader of Scientology. He has overseen massive revisions and changes to Hubbard's works over the past 30 years, all of it under the guise of, quote, making it the way Ron intended, unquote. No one in Scientology dares to question Miscavige unless they want to get into a great deal of trouble and potentially get kicked out of the church altogether. Back in 1993, when I was a staff member at the Santa Barbara branch of the church, I sent a written query to one of Miscavige's orders. The response came within 2 days. 2 Sea Org members from the Religious Technology Center showed up in Santa Barbara to interrogate me on an e-meter to find out why I would dare to presume to question an order from Miscavige. I quickly learned to toe the line and not ask any more such questions. And just so you see how far this unquestioning commitment has gone, the very first thing Tom Cruise did when he received the highest award in Scientology, the Freedom Medal of Valor, was to praise David Miscavige in terms that defy all reason. I think this proves the point beyond anything else I could say.
I have never met a more competent, a more intelligent, a more tolerant, a more compassionate being outside of what I've experienced from LRH. And I've met the leaders of leaders. Okay? I've met them all. So I say to you, Sir COB, we are lucky to have you, and thank you very much.